Are you thinking of switching to EV or just switched and are just wondering if it will be worth it? This video is for you then. How much you will save will depend on some factors. I will focus on numbers, which should help you decide if it is or gonna be worth it. I used to drive a Lexus CT 200h petrol hybrid, 1800cc engine, gave me 50 miles per gallon on average. Could be a bit more or less depending on driving method. When it comes to refueling, I used to use E10 around 3 times, then would use E5 1 time to keep the engine clean and flushed. On average, it would cost me around 140p per litre. Let's assume you drive the car with work regularly along with your personal commuting. I will assume a high mileage, but from the parameters I will discuss in the video, it is easy to do your own calculations to see where you would stand. I understand your mileage may be significantly lower or higher. Let's assume an annual mileage of 18,000 miles. That takes the refueling cost to £2,291. That comes to around 12.7p per mile. Come to EV, I have a Hyundai Kona 2024 EV. Why I selected this car is a separate story. We'll talk about it in a separate video. Roughly, it gives me 4 miles per kilowatt hour. I have an energy tariff from midnight to 5 a.m., 6.6p per kilowatt hour. Let's assume we only charge at these hours. This gives me a cost of 339, I repeat, 339 pounds per year. That is 1.9p per mile. And yes, I have indeed taken into account the grid to battery losses of about 14%. That's around 1,950 pounds saving per year. I know what you're thinking. What about insurance? EV tax government just announced in their last budget, which is 3p per driven mile, servicing costs. Well, regarding insurance, I found that it is slightly higher, around £200. EV tax is £540 going by our assumed mileage. Although this is supposed to come in from 2028, plan may change by then. Servicing costs are roughly 30% cheaper in EVs. These 3 factors combined cut around £450 into the savings. You are also thinking the upfront cost of buying an EV is more than internal combustion engine cars. Well, not necessarily, because the EV depreciates faster than ICEs. You can just get a pre-owned vehicle with not a lot of mileage. For example, my car cost me 21,000, whereas same new car would cost me around 35k, and if you take into consideration the grant, that would come to 33.5k. Mileage was 12.8k. What you are not thinking about is when you are gaining 6.6p per kilowatt hour tariff at night, what happens to the daytime? My daytime tariff is 29.26p per kilowatt hour. Standing charge is 56.87p per day. Let's talk about this. My annual household electric cost is 3,500 kilowatt hour. Previously, it used to cost me 21.39p per kilowatt hour flat rate and 52.65p per day standing charge. That means in new tariff, the cost would be £1,152 compared to before £941 previously, a 22% increase and an increase by £211. Considering all this, one can hope to save around £1,300 per year. Lastly, if I use public charger and assume 75p per kilowatt hour, it actually costs me twice the money to drive my EV compared to the petrol hybrid. If I assume 48p per kilowatt hour, which is in the lower side, still it is slightly more costly to run an EV. Did you find this video useful? Let me know what you think. Take care. See you in the next one.